Hello and welcome to today's show. My name is Guy, of course, and I'm your journey master in mapping it out. The behind the scenes look at our wonderful construction of the project known as Project DEIOS. That's correct. This is a dev diary, and well, today is a happy show. I've declared it. It has been said. It has been spoken into being. It is a happy show. So I hope that all of you watching are happy, and if not, get happy, damn it! Today is a happy day. Anyway, we've got some awesome news for you. We've got some amazing demonstrational products to go. So we got a sneak peek of the alpha. Now, the alpha is only coming next month, but we have a sneak peek for you. So we're going to be looking at that today. We are celebrating winners. Yes, we are celebrating winners today. We're revealing some new assets. Well, they actually got revealed yesterday, but in case you didn't see them, we'll be talking about some of those things coming up, which is quite cool. And then we're going to be giving you a heads up about I'm not going to say the word convention, but I'm going to use the word convention, but I'm not going to say convention. Anyway, I really don't know if an hour is going to be enough for today's show, because we have got so much to talk about, and I can see that there are lots of people in there. Miriam, I see, is rooting for a technical issue today, but Miriam, I have set up the stream deck, so now there shall be no technical difficulties whatsoever. Botosaurus, you look young and super fresh today. Botosaurus, you look awesome today. Thank you for that. Yes, well, we've got a lot. Well, guys, sound is a bit like a metal tin can. A metal tin can? Why do I sound like... Oh, because I'm leaning away from my microphone. I'm awfully sorry about that. Okay, right. Let's get our guest in. He is none other than the absolutely fabulous, the amazing, the awesome, the slightly suffering from cabin fever, so we had to feed him plenty of his usual beverage. Does anyone know what his beverage is? Don't cheat now if you work for the man. But yes, let's just say he has a favourite beverage, and we make sure to stock up before he arrives. It is none other than Till. Till, how are you doing?
Hi everyone, I'm doing fine. As you just said, I'm a little bit, claustrophobic by now, possibly. But yeah, I'm doing fine. How's everyone in the chat doing?
Everyone doing very, very well. We got Sheena Tiger joining us, which is really cool. We've got Tenwian, not coffee, not coffee. Till's soft, I'm loud. Okay, let me do this. You tell me what the story is, if that's better. So we'll nice weather, says Fun Cracker, so that's fine. Coming in from Vine, I think is how you would pronounce that. Let's see what chat's doing. Oh, I can't see chat. Why can't I see chat in YouTube? Where is it? Where's it gone? No, there is no chat in YouTube. There we are. Dirge X says, very well. I'm at work, so probably won't be too active. Well, that's okay. All right. Till, we've got a lot to get through today, but before we even start, I just want to say, how are you and your team doing? How are you guys holding up?
So Austria has announced today, I think, that they are going to return to normal within the next week. We're not really sure if that means that we can go back to office next week. But as far as my team is concerned, we should be going back to office, because each and everyone is sitting at home and is like, can this please end? Can this please just end? Because I think it's not just me feeling a little bit locked up and claustrophobic at the moment, but it's everyone on the team. And we're all looking forward to the moment where we can join back in the office and have regular discussions on regular meeting desk where we all sit together and plan things and get rid of this freaking web camera that it feels like I'm staring in almost 90% of my life right now.
There you are. Well, yes. Well, let's see. The UK, I don't think, is going to be doing anything like that whatsoever. We actually had rather sad news. I think it was this morning, actually, that UK Games Expo, which had moved from a couple of weeks ago to August have now actually completely cancelled for 2020. I think a lot of people just kind of 2020, the year that didn't really happen.
Yeah.
But we don't care because DEIOS is going to happen. Well, at least certainly
Yeah.
the Alpha is going to happen in 2020.
Well,
So
in terms of conventions, it was a little bit of a drawback for us as well, because we were planning on going on Gen Con this year. We were planning on going to NerdickyCon this year. And it's still, both are still very uncertain. So we decided to say, okay, let's just wait. I'm still hoping to hear something from Spiel in Germany, because we would like to go there. It's going to be in October. So this might be the only convention apart from Dragon Meet in winter that we might be seeing. So
there we go.
yeah,
Well,
there
I
we
can
go.
confirm Nerdarchy is definitely cancelled this year. They've moved it to next year. So, and Gen Con is very up in the air, as you were saying. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so what's the current state of DEIOS? Where do we now sit? We've kind of get a sense of where do we sit.
So we, as the developers team, I'm used to talk in sprints now, which means that every 14 days is one development sprint. And it would technically mean that we are 2 sprints away from Alpha 1. And I'm going to showcase where we are right now, and you will see that because of the velocity that we have lost, that we are a little bit behind our schedule. So for this sprint today, because we had our sprint meeting today, we had planned to be completely finished with the landmass tool, which we did not achieve. There's still hopes that we can gain speed over the next sprint, because the last sprint obviously should be just for testing. In regards to, are we going to release Alpha 1 on May 25th, or will it be a little bit later? The second I feel happy, and I have the feeling that you are happy with the product as we release on Alpha 1 stage, we will dish it out. But I reserve the right to say, wait, we need another sprint to fix this. So right now we're looking at possibly May the 25th, or one sprint later, which is 14 days later. At this moment, it's absolutely impossible to tell if we can keep up what we have lost in the past sprint, or if we need more time. But the good news is I have something to show, and I'm pretty proud of what we have already. So why don't we?
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Because there are a couple of things that need to happen here first. You do realize that if the Alpha doesn't come out on the 25th, England will be invading Austria again as I swim across the channel, violating all of the country isolation laws, and then walk across France, get over those little mountains, and then get into Austria and say, right, I'm not leaving. We're gonna, yeah, because yeah. But no, that's absolutely a valid thing to say. So have you guys, you two talk about the slowdown that started to happen. Is there a way of compensating for this? I mean, is there a way to manage this?
So honestly, no. There were several factors that we just were I don't know, just run over. We didn't expect them. So the first factor was obviously that we didn't anticipate that velocity, like development velocity, goes down if people stay at home. We were probably ignorant to the fact that we said, okay, well, then everyone's sitting at home and programming, ignoring the fact that this means that we all have families and they all need attention. And we had to shift our productive times into the evening. The second thing we absolutely did not see coming, which honestly is a great fact for us, but it was unexpected, is that our servers on Dungeon Fog went through a lot of stress through the fact that many people over the world are now at home and need and have some time to create maps. So especially within the last 2 weeks, we had to divert a little bit of our attention to Dungeon Fog game socket servers and adjust to that. For those who are using Dungeon Fog, you might have seen all the server update thingies that we've posted on Discord, because we just had to ramp up our server capacities to deal with all the requests that are coming in. And on that regard, a quick tip from my side. We are still working on that. We're still trying to boost a little bit more capacity into our game socket. If you're running your game in the campaign viewer, if you're running it as a local viewer and not the remote link, then you're completely free of dependencies on our game socket, because all of that is run on your computer. And you just, Guy, you did a great video about that. You just take the screen and share it through Zoom, Discord, Skype, whatever you have. So you're not dependent on the game socket there. But that, again, also took some of our time, because we needed to fix that to make sure that everyone's using Dungeon Fog happily. So looking forward, I think the sooner we get back to the office, the better for us, because it means that we can sit together and work together. And then honestly, it's just getting rid of bugs, fixing things, testing things, and making sure that we are happy with what we have before we release it to you, because I think it's helping no one if we release an Alpha 1 that is bug-ridden, terrible, and you lose probably just a little bit of trust in where this product is going. So this is my main intention here, is to make sure that whatever we release will have a quality that you will be happy with.
Absolutely. No, that's fantastic. I think that's very good, and it is definitely the amount of extra effort that has been required to handle the workload of all of us basically working on Dungeon Fog. I don't think I've ever made so many maps in Dungeon Fog ever. I think I got a badge the other day for having made over 100 maps, but I kind of feel like that was a bit of a cheat actually, because it was like, well, we need 30 ships. So, but anyway, I mean, it's absolute joy, and I cannot wait to get the new assets, terrain assets, which I think is going to be very, 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 very fun. So, yeah. All right. So we're talking social distancing, which is 2 meters, which is 6 feet for those of you that don't know meters. And someone recently told me that it's actually 2 sword lengths. So if you can swing your sword and they can swing their sword and you don't touch, you're okay. Should we talk about the convention? I mean,
Not yet.
Okay, sure, fine. Account management. How is the account manager going? Because that's been live for a couple of days now. How's that been doing?
So the account manager is to remind you, each and every one of you DEIOS speckers should have received your invite to the account manager. In terms of numbers, we know that not all of you have clicked on the link yet, which is fine. So the account manager will be there forever, I would assume, because it is what we are going to, that's where we transition Dungeon Fog into, slowly and steadily. So the account manager went live. We have about 2/3 of the people sign up and activate their accounts. We've seen some numbers on the pre-orders, which makes me very happy. And in terms of feedback and support, I think most of it was without any bugs. We had an issue with people who had where Kickstarter didn't collect the pledge initially, and then BackerKit collected the pledge. They weren't part of the import script for some reason, but I think we've fixed that. If you cannot log in, if your link is not working, just send us an email to support@dungeonfog.com, and we will send you a new invite link, which is really simple for us. Just reach out to us.
There we go.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. Just give us a sense of numbers. You say 2/3. How many people is that? It's like 6, 7 people?
Yeah. approximately. Um, I think I don't have the number in front of me, but I think we had about 4,000 backers. So it's somewhere around yeah, 2,500, I would say, have signed up.
There you are. There you are. Fantastic. Okay, so if you haven't signed up, go Gadget Copter, go sign up. Okay, all right. So we've been promising showcasing. Oh wait, you wanted to say
Yes.
something?
No, I just wanted to say that in terms of one of the questions that we're getting a lot right now is I have two different accounts. I have a DEIOS account now for the account manager and a separate Dungeon Fork account. Why and are you going to change that? So the answer is you have that right now because we wanted to have two separate things because that makes development a lot easier. And we are already working on that, and I assume that it's going to be rather soon, that you will have a tool in the Deus account manager to link your Dungeon Fork account, which will eventually help us then to migrate those two accounts into one.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Okay, can we now do a showcase?
Yes, let me just quickly prep my
All
button.
right, are you ready to switch?
You're giving me the countdown.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and switch. Right, so there we go. There we
There
go.
you
What are we
go.
seeing here? What are we seeing here?
So my team has put a lot of effort into doing a little demo build for today. And it is, I can promise you right now, it's going to break somewhere down the road. When I'm trying to do something in here, it will most likely break and I will have to bring it up again, which is fine because this is mid-development. But still, thank you very much, Andy. Thank you very much, Jan. Thank you very much, Jonas. They spent the whole night mostly to compile something that I can showcase today. Um, this is the current state of the editor right now. And as you can see, we have now a tool layer, so I can select my tools here. I have a lot of tool settings here, which most of them are not connected yet. And I should be able to draw a landmass, which I'm going to try right now. And it's going to be very interesting. Oh, there you go. I was able to draw a landmass. Um, so right now, there are a lot of bugs still. We know them, and they will be addressed within the next days. So for example, if I would, there it didn't do anything. There it did something, but not really what I was expecting. Um, So as you can see, it's pretty weird right now. Um, but that is again, that is as far as we got for this tool preview today, and it shows that we can already start with it. It's not merging properly yet. We still have those render issues, and the lines are still drawn for every object that we create instead of merging them together. But I can already adjust the brush size. So I could go down with the brush size, or I could type it and say 20, which will make a smaller brush size. I can switch to, let's go up a little bit for 100 here. I could go for a square one. Again, it's a bit of a gamble if something happens or not. Um, I can adjust the jitter. So, and as you can see, I can adjust them by scrubbing or entering the thingy. And once we're finished with that, you will be able to scrub all the way into any direction. Um, we have a lot of settings prepared. So you will have the fill settings for the landmass. I'm going to show you that in a second. You can adjust the outline width, the outline fill, probably the rotation on the outline texture, the inner glow. So currently there's no inner glow rendered, but that is going to come in within this next sprint. The outer glow, which you already can see here. And Jonas already finished the fill section, which means here you will be able to access your library, you will be able to search. You have a recently used selection that shows you what textures have you been recently using. And you can switch between the list view and the tile view. And you also have the color wheel that will also create recently used colors once that is implemented within the databases. Right now, I cannot click that away. I just learned the trick. Jonas contacted me and said, I need to click here. And then it goes away. This is going to be a little bit less unintuitive. So once we've done with that, you can just click anywhere. Oh, I just created a landmass here. Or I can click on that and close it. But right now, for testing, I need to do that. Yeah, I think that's it. That's where we are at the moment. Jan was reaching out to me and saying, if you give me a few more hours, I can finish this so that we can have a proper landmass. And I was like, no, that's fine. Don't stress yourself. This is a nice preview of the current state that we are, and I think it's going to improve quite a lot within the next days. So the second the landmass drawing is in a state where we think this is where we are right now, this is how it's going to be Alpha 1, I will do a little video on that, and I will release the video to the account manager page.
Ah, fantastic. Even more reason to go to the account manager and sign up if you haven't. So there is a comment here which I think it's absolutely appropriate to read it out right now. Someone named Botisaurus, I'm not going to mention any names, said, if you like the user interface, praise me. If you don't, blame Till. I think that's fair. I think that's
absolutely
that's
fair.
pretty fair.
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. So, Till, when we look at this, the demo that you've done so far, the alpha build, when it comes out, is the plan to be that we'll be able to draw land masses and export them in alpha? Is that?
Yes, absolutely. So, again, I think although it is a technical alpha, which means that it is mainly for us to understand how all your systems, all your PC setups are working with it. And we need to understand where are there any, let's say, are there any memory leaks that we still need to address? How is everything working? I think the Alpha 1 should be in a state where you at least can create maps to a very basic extent, which means you can draw land masses, you can add props, and you can adjust and move around everything in there. So I forgot to show that you can already zoom in, which looks terrible at the moment because we're not rendering the lines properly. But this is going to be fixed as we move along. All of that will be Alpha 1 material. You will be able to select those land masses. You will be able to move them. So you will be able to experience the basic foundation of where Project DEIOS is going. And through testing that and playing around with that, you will help us to understand and learn where we need to adjust. And that's where we're going. So landmass drawing and props will be definitely in there. And then depending on how much velocity we gain within the next sprints, we might even have the brush tool in there as well, allowing you to add brush textures there. Even if it doesn't make it into Alpha 1 release build, those are the things that we have on our table for the next releases, which doesn't mean that you have to wait until Alpha 2. But the second we are happy with the next release, we will dish it out. And you will have more tools in there as we progress down the development line.
Okay, there we are. Okay, so that's great.
Just a quick remark, by the way. I'm very impressed. It didn't crash on me while I was showcasing this. I tested it quite some time before, and I had to reboot the application. And now it's playing quite nice with me.
Yeah, and Mondrian would be quite happy, I think, or Pollock, perhaps, in terms of what you're working on at the moment. So, hey, if anything, we've got at least some modern art. No, I think it's looking really good, and a lot of people are sort of talking about how clean the interface is, and the text is nice and straightforward. Is the UI likely to change a huge amount between now and the
Well,
release?
mostly styling wise, not dramatically, because when you look at the collapsibles right now, we have the everything is collapsible, but it's getting confusing quite soon because um, the subheader is bigger than the main header. Things like that are going to improve. We're going to look at the fonts and the font sizes and kind of the color variations, to give you a good feeling. We will look at what is collapsed and what is expanded when you open the tool, because we don't want to confuse you. So most likely when you start this, you will have probably those open. And then each and every one of you can decide if they want to go into details here. We might reorder them or group them in something like an advanced tab. So that's going to change. But the main user interface, I'm very happy with it. And Bodhi did a great job on that.
No, absolutely. I think a lot of people are saying exactly that. We've got a lot of questions coming through, but we will answer those at the end of the show, as we've still got quite a bit to go through. Although I mean, this is really
Well, if they
really
are if
cool.
they are editor related, we can touch them probably now. Otherwise, I have to bring it up back open.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know.
So, well, now you're asking me to read the questions as well as run the show. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. No, there are no particular questions
Okay.
that I can see specifically on this. Just glancing through. No, so nothing very very specific. We will come to your questions though. There are lots of questions I see. Drigger X has some questions. Miriam has a lot of questions. So Cobalt as well. So stay with us. We will get to those questions. Okay, so now this is brilliant. I mean, and you're talking to Alpha that we are going to be able to use some props and assets now. Do you have some assets to show us? Because some of us have been watching Kaora's live streams recently, and he's
Yeah.
been showing what he's been doing. Can you show
I
us
think each
something?
and every one of you, especially if you've been watching the last show, from March, you've already seen the assets that Kiora has prepped. But what I would like to show to you today is the way that we are going to bring them into DEIOS, because we have this asset pack manager, which is like the grandfather of the asset management tool that you are going to use later if you upload custom props for yourself. So this is like the first ancestor to what it is going to be at the end. But it is what I am using to upload Kiora's assets. Now, if you look here, I have all of them prepped already, so they are ready to be imported, and they are going to be handed over to the development team, who are going to install that package afterwards. But what I wanted to show to you is, and I've lost the line. I've scrolled. No, where was it? Oh,
There
there
you
it
go.
is.
There you go.
So if you look at the cigarette, the information we have on each and every one of that is it a prop, is it a pattern, is it a Wang pattern, is it an image, or is it a token? Those are going to be the things, or those are the things that I have now to adjust what I'm uploading right now. I can see the image preview and the size of the image in pixels. I can name it. I will be, and that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to tag all of them so that you have different tag categories, because we are moving away from the collapsible categories we have in Dungeon Fog right now, and we are more moving into tag grouping. Um, but I think what is very interesting is this little slider here, because what Keora did is he created those assets as multi-level or multi-layer PSD files. and we are importing them directly, which means if I reduce that to 1, you can see, I hope you can see, that this file actually consists of 2 separate layers, a color layer and a line art layer. And by adjusting that, we can combine them. Here for the house, we have even 3 layers, which if I collapse them, you can see we have the how do you call it, facade, the roof, and the line art. Now, the reason we are doing that is because we can combine them back into one object in DEIOS, but you will be able, not in Alpha 1, that's not going to be Alpha 1 material, but down the road, we're already prepping for that. You will be able to adjust all those layers, all those asset layers separately. So you will be able to colorize the facade differently than the rooftops. And depending on how many layers we need, we already read them on import, so we already understand how many layers are within that Photoshop file. We have a converter for that. We can then adjust them, and you will be able to play around with them. And I think that is, in terms of asset management, very powerful.
Absolutely. If I'm making my own assets, will there be a possibility that I would be able to make multiple layered assets as well?
I would say yes. Again, this is not going to be alpha material. This is going to be launch material. But I think this is the way to go. If you want to create your own assets, you will be able to upload just PNG files, because I think a lot of assets that are purchasable out there might not be Photoshop files. And not everyone has Photoshop, obviously. But if you have Photoshop, and if you can create a PSD file, I think GIMP, for example, could create a PSD file as well, and you split them on separate layers, you would be able to upload them as well. Thinking about the future of the marketplace, this is also going to be how we going to reach out to other artists and say, if you have the Photoshop file split onto separate layers, you can have a multicolor asset or a I'm sorry, I can't pronounce
manipulatable?
Manipulatable object.
Manipulatable. Yeah. Anyway, yes. Well, you'll be able to change stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So you will be able to change stuff there. So this is not exclusive to us as developers, but we're going to go that route for every user.
Well, I think this is just it's just fantastic. I think it's looking great. Comments in the chats for an alpha dev. This is looking absolutely beautiful. As a matter of fact, as someone has mentioned. So, okay, right. Are we going to talk about masterclass now?
Not yet. Come on, let's keep the good stuff for the end.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay, fine. Moving on swiftly then. Let's refocus our attention to Dungeon Fog itself. Now, this is original flagship. This is original program, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do, but it also serves a bit of a soft testing space for DEIOS. In terms of sort of adds-on and systems and the like. Now, something that has been, it's being initialized, is the template idea. Can we talk about the template a little bit, Till?
Yes. So a very clever man. I know for quite some time now, and I'm very proud to know him. He's a great game master. Reached out with an idea, and he said, hey, what do you think about adding a template system to Dungeon Fog where you don't have to clone maps from the public library, or where you don't have to create empty maps all the time, but there are so many maps that you're using often, like, for example, buildings or caves, or I don't know. How about when you create a new map, you could pick from some templates and start creating them. And I was talking to the team, and I was proposing your idea for those who haven't really um, gotten that by now. And they were absolutely amazed. And they said, well, that's pretty simple to do. We just need templates. So I reached out to you. We talked together. We decided that you would be doing templates, and I can show you at least the mock-up system for that right now because Bodhi, Thomas, and Herbert are currently working on it. And I think it's going to be finished within the next, I would say, 2-3 weeks. And this is what it's going to be. When you create a new map, you will be prompted if you want to create an empty map, and you have all the same settings that you have right now. But we will have a template system, and there will be different artists. We're starting with you right now, Guy, where you that can propose templates to the Dungeon Fog engine. So you could say, I like the way that Guy is building his maps. I would like to use one of his templates. And I will be able to pick any of those. Like there will be categories like buildings, dungeons, natures, towns. This is just mock-up material right now. You and I, Guy, we will sit down and define those categories. And I can switch if I want to have an empty map, so just room design, or if I want to have them decorated. And once I pick them, I can then select one of the templates. I will be able to name it so that it is my map, obviously, because I need it for a specific purpose. And then I click on Open Editor, and here I am. I have the map created as my map out of the templates that we, together with you, have provided.
There we go, and hopefully it will be of use and excitement and value to people. We do try and include as much information as we can in the map. So the tavern map, which is the one that we started with, it's a fairly large tavern/inn. But it has different rooms, and each of those rooms have actually got the price of the room actually embedded into the name of each room. So you're not just getting unnamed room 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're getting the, say, short folk room with an actual cost for it. So if your players wander into a tavern, you've now got a tavern, and they ask you how much is it for a night. Well, now you know it's all built into the map, just part of the power of Dungeon Fog, I think. So is this template idea, there's quite a few questions coming through on this, but now is the template idea something that we could see as being a potentially a commercial space for other creators in the future? And then it's a two-part question: is the template idea going to be utilized in DEIOS?
Okay, so the reason why we love the idea so much is because it offers a huge variety of, let's say, ways we can go down. We are thinking, so obviously I'm very thankful for you, Guy, to be our, let's say, our test engineer pick on that, because this is how we're going to start. We're going to develop templates with you, and they will be released in Dungeon Fog, and we will gather experience and gather more understanding of what we can do with that. I know that a certain map maker / artist has also shown interest in working with us on his own templates. So we are going to talk with Keora about if he wants to add to that template system. And last but not least, this is something where the community can come in, because I think having community templates would be cool as well. Now, at some point, it starts to cannibalize the public map, the public library, because where's the difference between a map template and just browsing the library and getting maps from there? So this is something that we need to gain more experience in. What is a template, and why is it a template, and what is a public map that you're just sharing? But we have quite some very good map artists on Dungeon Fog, and I am going to reach out to them and say, hey, you really have great maps. Do you want to provide some of them as templates? We are going to, later down the road, we are going to implement the marketplace. And I think this is going to be a very strong benefit, is that if you buy in the marketplace, if you buy third-party assets, we will ask the artist to create a template map. And we could look at ways where you can, either as part of the subscription, access those template maps, or buy map asset packs that come along with specific templates that you then own. So there's going to be a lot to do with. Now, all we need to do is learn the best way to make this feel natural for you as users, and to have the highest value in terms of what assets, pardon me, what templates do you really need and do you really use. So within the next few days, I'm going to start a poll, and I'm going to ask you what templates you would like to see in there, because I think, Guy, that is something that will help you, that will help us together to figure out what templates do we want to create as a first start. And to answer the second part, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Yes, this is definitely going to be DEIOS material. So unless this is not used at all and people just plain hate it, we will go for the same thing in DEIOS as well.
There we are. There we are. Some very good suggestions coming through, or some interesting questions just on this while we're here. So Cobalt says, for the templates, if you have a commercial license, is there going to be a requirement to give credit to the original template creator? That's an interesting legal question, or at least submission question, I suppose.
Yes, it is. That is the same with third-party assets that we are currently investigating, is how do we grant the rights to each and everything. I think, to keep it simple, if we implement something as a template, whoever created the template has to agree that this is available for commercial licensing as well. Because if it is part of the Dungeon Fog and the Dungeon Fog subscription, and we make it available, then if you as a user have a commercial license, you could build your map based on the template and use it for your commercial product. Because that, I think, makes it the most simple way to approach it. But then again, we have to investigate how we can make this clear to template creators, and if we need to have some specific differentiation between this template is only available for non-commercial use, and this might come along with a commercial license or higher price tag because you want to buy the commercial rights for this template as well.
I think that just goes to show that it's not just about designing a piece of software and then making it available. Every step has got so many extra steps that need to be explored and looked into. Okay, well, can we talk about then, you were talking about some great map makers, and I agree with you. There are some amazing maps that are generated on Dungeon Fog. Can we talk about the winners of the 2020 Hall of Fame?
Yes, I would love to. Let me just quickly go to them. So, for those who didn't know, we were running a contest, the Hall of Fame contest, and we were asking the community to vote on the best maps in the public library. And there were quite a lot of votes. I think over 800 people have voted.
Wow.
And a lot of them have given all, like, you had to give 5 trophies to a map. Or no, you had 5 trophies that you were able to split over all maps. So obviously there were a few who just gave 3 trophies and then forgot about the contest. But quite a lot of those people who voted with all 5 trophies. And out of those, we didn't have to pick because technically you picked. We collected the ones with the 5 most trophies out there. And I think well deserved is Jay Bovio with his Leoric map, The Ancient Ruins. This is a multi-level dungeon with those beautiful, weird roots growing into this old rotten dungeon, and he's playing with textures and colors and the way this is honestly well deserved. This is by far the coolest collapsed dungeon map I've ever seen. And it makes me extremely proud that it is done in Dungeon Fog.
I'm actually looking at that floor mosaic that he's got going there. I'm looking at it, trying to figure out what he used. Anyway, we'll have to do a dissection of these maps at some point. I think to do a master class.
Dive into the. Oh, there you're hinting again. We should dive into that at one point and just look at how did you do this, Jay Bovio. Second place goes to DM Badluck with Canyon. Again, I think is a really cool map. The way he played with water, with the different terrain levels, even before we released our terrain asset pack. DM Badluck, you might go back to that and adjust the map a little bit with the new terrain setting. But this is a very beautiful map. Then, who's that? Wait. The community voted you guy on third place with Horror of Memory, which I think is well deserved because it is a really vibrant map from the colors you've used. Fourth place, Shizukai with the Haunted House. I think this is a multi-level map as well. It's also a lot bigger than the snapshot I took here. And then we have, interestingly enough, the Master of Caves, obviously, Jay Bovio again with the Gnoll's Cave.
Wow.
So those were the maps that got the most votes. And I'm very happy with the results. So we are going to do this once a year. So next year, there's going to be another Hall of Fame contest where we ask you to vote again. And this, I think, I'm sorry, I'm lacking the English term for that. This is going to be a trophy that moves from person to person.
Floating trophy.
A floating trophy. So we will not take away those great badges, but if you can see, it says Hall of Fame 2020. So there's going to be a Hall of Fame 2021. And we might exclude, I'm not sure, we might exclude the winners from like the winner maps from the previous year and say, okay, vote for something different. We haven't spent a lot of thoughts on that yet, apart from knowing that we want to do this again because I think it was a lot of fun. And all I can say is congratulations to all winners, because everyone who voted, at least with 5 trophies, and all winners, they were receiving this very weird asset pack as a thank you, which is called the Founder's Fate. And if you look close, I don't know if you can we? If you look close enough, those are the 4 founders, which is Andy, Thomas, Herbert, and me. And we've all met our ultimate doom. So it was intended to be April's joke. But then with all the Corona things going on with her, well, it's not really the time to do some joking on April the 1st. We instead said, okay, let's give that away as a reward for everyone who participated, because we had a lot of fun in the team, sitting together and thinking about the demises that we might meet, where Andy, our core programmer, dies the terrible death of each cyberpunk hacker with a fried brain in all his computer consoles. Thomas, who is a very who's a big fan of zombie apocalypse movies and games, that is his preferred space where he likes to play and game, died through zombies. Herbert, who's a big Star Wars fan and also eternal wizard, he always plays a wizard when he can, was locked in this carbonite crystal Han Solo reference. And the team was joking about me dying as the king, the soul lost king as a Viking, because I look like a Viking. So that's the founder's fate. And each and every one of you has that. And eventually down the road, we will release that to everyone as part of the asset packs that were achievement packs. And we are still collecting them. And at some point later, we will do a big achievement pack that we will release to everyone.
There you are. That's absolutely lovely. Are you going to be running a similar competition with DEIOS?
We're going to do a lot of those things with DEIOS. So the experience has shown that now that the community is growing and people are getting more involved, those contests make more sense, and get a lot more participation. So even until DEIOS is out, we will do something, probably not with Alpha 1, but with Alpha 2, where we say, okay, post the coolest alpha maps that you have been creating, and so on and so forth. By the way, off the script, sorry, but it just popped my head. We now have a Reddit. We have a subreddit. Thanks to Forecaster, who sat down and created an alpha Reddit. If you go to reddit/r/dungeonfog, you can find our Reddit there. We would be happy if you help us to grow this Reddit community by posting the maps you have created there, chatting about the experiences you have with Dungeon Fog. And me and my team, we are always keeping an eye out and try to answer questions there as well.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, there we go. I think we're pretty much at the end. We've got lots of questions to get through.
Yeah, but don't forget that you wanted to tease something.
Oh yeah, but I've kind of given up on that.
You have my permission to do now.
Oh yay! Okay, well then let's switch back, because I think we're done with the demonstration.
3,
All right.
2, 1.
There you go. Look at that. Perfect. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. See, we're getting better. We're getting better at every step. Okay, so hopefully now you folk are the first to publicly hear this, actually. So it's a bit of a sneaky one, actually. It's a bit cheeky, I think. But anyway, it's good to see if you think this is going to be of value or not. So we are getting together in the next couple of weeks. So there'll be lots of announcements coming out from this week onwards, actually. We've put together a masterclass workshop for 2 days at the end of next month, end of May. And it's focusing on everything. It's focusing on absolutely everything. It is a complete beginning thing. What am I saying? It's a complete campaign process. You're going to be using every tool that we have in our arsenal, plus more. World Anvil is involved. I'm involved. Dungeon Fog's involved. It's going to be absolute chaos and mayhem, and I think it's going to be a huge amount of fun. What do you think, Till?
Okay, first of all, this is not going to be the masterclass that is part of the Kickstarter thing, because I got the question already. This is not the masterclass thing that you are going to receive once DEIOS is launched. And Guy, you said you're going to do a little masterclass video series about that. Apparently, by the time that we are running the workshop weekend, DEIOS is in no state that we can already use that to do workshops on that. So that is going to come later. But it is going to be a masterclass about, as you just said, world building. So you are going to be our tutor on how do I set up a world, how do I plan, how do I create a good campaign, how do I plot things, all of that stuff. World Anvil is going to be part of the show, showing how you can utilize their tools to organize your material. So this is hands-on. This is not just speech and demo. This is hands-on workshops where you can sit down and work together with us, creating your own little adventure. And I will be running workshops on how to draw battle maps with Dungeon Fog, where I can show you all the sneaky little tricks I have been using for the terrain map that I just posted yesterday, how to work with dynamic lighting, how to adjust and tweak all the settings in Dungeon Fog. Maybe you can learn a few tricks there. So this is not the online conventions that are popping out of the floor everywhere. This is training. You will have to do push-ups before we start, and you will have. No, you don't. I'm sorry. I got carried away.
You had me worried. It's like, I've agreed to do this, but I don't remember anyone saying anything about push-ups. Oh dear. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Till. It's going to be awesome. Yes, you'll be sitting with each of the specialists, and we're also going to be taking in work for the second day and critiquing it and developing it and working with it. So I'm not sure. It's someone in chat sort of said it's like an RPG boot camp. It is, yeah. But it really is. It's a workshopping. This is how you create your entire adventure and make it usable. And then day 2 is, okay, let's take what you've done and move it even further. So that should be a lot of fun. So that's going to be coming
up. And also, we have never done this before, so it's going to be utter chaos, and we all are going to have a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward.
Absolutely, and it's also going to be running at a good time, I think. So for those of us here in Europe, it will be running in the evening, quite late, which does mean that everybody in America will be able to join in because it'll be in their afternoon. Because there is actually homework in between the 2 days, because I'm involved, and it wouldn't be right if there wasn't something. Anyway, all right. So if you're excited about that, let us know. It is literally going to be a weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday over 2 days. Let us know if you're excited about that.
I think we just yesterday. I think yesterday. Well, a few days ago, we just finished on the basic prep stuff. So announcements will be going out within the next days. We need to finish the program. We need to set up a landing page and all that stuff that is currently in progress. So if you're interested, keep an eye out. We will post it on Discord. We will post it on our Discord, on Guy's Discord. It's going to be everywhere.
There we go.
It's going to be very hard to miss that announcement. But yeah, that's coming, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's get into your questions. We've got 3 minutes, so I can ask 3 questions till you're on speed.
No.
Excellent. Okay, all of those related to salary. Okay, so first question says, this is from Miriam, says, where can I see which alpha I'll have access to on projectdeos.com?
Oh, when you go to projectdeos.com and you sign up into your account manager, you either have a big button that says you don't have access to Alpha 1, please upgrade, or you have a big box that says software download and has the Windows, Mac, and Linux software boxes that are currently locked. That is your indication if you have access or not. If you have been a Kickstarter backer, everyone from Gold Plus and above has access to Alpha 1. And for those who were Bronze, Silver, Helping Fairy, all those backers, we have provided you a discount on an upgrade option. If you want to join Alpha 1 right now, you can do that on the account manager.
Fantastic. Drugger X asks, can we stream Alpha?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, honestly, yes. Well, yeah, honestly, yes. I still think Alpha 1 is not the best material to stream yet, because still it's a technical alpha. But why not? You have my permission. So you can stream. You could technically use it to play on those maps already. It's not going to be material for commercial products yet, but that is going to be Alpha 2 material then.
There we go. John Beasley asks, is the marketplace planned to be a paid model for artists to be able to sell their own asset packs when DEIOS is eventually
So
launched?
yes, technically, what we decided on the road that we're going is because obviously the things that we create, like that Tony is drawing and that is made in-house from Dungeon Fog, we can offer that as a paid subscription. So what we said is we want to make it obvious for everyone what the subscription includes, and that's why we're calling, or are going to call, with days out, we're going to call that the content subscription. But we can't, it's just not possible, and I think it's going to be very hard to reach out to artists all over the world and say, hey, we want your assets, but we want them as part of our subscription, because they will be saying, well, what do you pay us for that? So this is a very complex, a very difficult way to approach artists. It's a lot easier to say, hey, we want your assets in our marketplace. Why don't you sell them there? So the marketplace will mainly be an option to buy third-party assets from artists that we couldn't bring into a content subscription. Because that is, if you were an artist, I would reach out to you and say, look, we have several different business models. And one of them is the content subscription. And would you be interested in selling one of your asset packs, for example, as part of the content subscription? Or would you be willing to sell some of them on the marketplace? Right now, I'm sitting down with Keora, and we are working on that because he is an artist. My main priority is to make sure that whatever business model we are developing there is fair for artists, because those are the people who make those maps look great, apart from you drawing those maps, but the assets, they are adding a lot of style to that. So whatever the marketplace is going to do, it has to be fair for artists. And that's why I'm sitting down with Keora right now. We're developing the business model together. And next step is we will bring in the next artist and ask them what they think about the business model. And so we will slowly develop that until DEIOS is finished.
There we go. Miriam asked another question. Lots of questions from Miriam, which is fantastic. Will there be cloud-backed storage for the standalone application? And would we be able to work on maps edited or created in the standalone online and vice versa?
Yes, but that is launch material. That is not alpha material. So if you have, DEIOS is going to be developed as a desktop application, and the way we are building DEIOS will allow us to run it as an online version as well. So if you have a running license, like a subscription, or if you have purchased, no, I think it's for those who have a subscription. It's because of the content subscription. If you have a content subscription, you have access to the online tools as well. If you've bought the standalone version, then it's just desktop for you. I think that's where we settled.
Driger X asks, is the marketplace going to focus just on assets, or could one sell completed maps, similar to the template system, but paid, yes, basically?
Exactly. That is where we are heading to. Because also it means that with the marketplace where we can sell, or you as a content creator can sell maps, this is also where IP licensing for bigger companies like Dungeons and Dragons, for example, Paizo, come in, that we could reach out and say, hey, we could sell your map packs for campaigns on the marketplace. So that's what we're going for, which means that, again, this might be a purchase option that the artist decides on. If he says, well, my maps can be templates, they can be templates for, those are checkboxes technically. Yes, templates allowed. Yes, commercial license allowed. Yes, high resolution for printing, and so on and so forth. And we will take all those options and create bundles.
So Cobalt says, are there keyboard shortcuts for quick access to various tools for map building in DEIOS? Because it would be great to set it up on a Stream Deck to quickly change tools and that sort of thing.
So there are already shortcuts in Dungeon Fog, and there are going to be shortcuts in DEIOS, a lot of them. And I honestly, I can't remember because we had the discussion in the last meeting. I think there's going to be a shortcut system, at least I think, again, don't, it might be wrong. A shortcut system where you can define your own shortcuts. But there will be definitely there will be preset shortcuts. Not sure if you can adjust them manually. Yeah.
Perfect. Emmett's E. Matson says, when I first heard of this project, I thought there was discussion of integration with World Anvil, but I have not heard anything since. Can you provide us with an update? Is this still going to happen?
Sure. So the reason why we haven't really gone that route any further right now is because it's too early in development. Dimi and Andy sat down already and defined a very detailed requirement sheet, a documentation sheet on all the different things that we can hand over, World Anvil and vice versa. But this is right now, we're just building the foundations and the first tools. This is nowhere near where it makes sense to reach out to World Anvil because they are very busy and say, hey, let's talk about API integration. This is going to come once we are past Alpha 2.
Another question from Miriam. I'm just going to run through these questions. We've got a few left, so we're going to overrun just a little bit, if that's all right, Till. Miriam says, following up with my cloud question, will there be a storage limit for how much custom assets we can store? Is there a storage limit on Dungeon Fog at the moment?
There is a storage limit on Dungeon Fog, but quite frankly, I always keep forgetting what it is. I think it might be 2 gigabyte for premium subscribers. I think it's 25 megabyte for free accounts. Yes, there's going to be a cloud space where you can sync your assets into the cloud, and there will be storage which to some extent is limited, but I think there's definitely going to be a way to up that if you need to upgrade for more storage space.
So Cobalt says, will you be able to create public and private templates? So just your own templates, for example.
Oh, nice. Thanks. That's a clever idea. That's pretty cool. Haven't thought about that. We'll push it into the next team meeting because I think this is smart. So having maps that you can define as templates just for yourself. Easy to do. Brilliant idea. Thank you very much.
There we go. Another suggestion on that line, and I actually can't find it at the moment. There was a suggestion of room templates. So I'm not sure if it would actually. I mean, I'm thinking of it over in my head, though. You know, I want a corridor with a colonnade already set up.
So the room template is a very old concept that has been pushed and pushed and pushed because we were always trying to do something first. And it isn't off the table. It's just not there yet that we can do it, which means that you can select a room and store it as if it was a prop, where you can say, oh, I'm always using the same kitchen. I'm drawing the kitchen, I select the room and I store it. And the second I go to my room template tab, all I need to do is bring up that room and place it on the map. It's on our task list, and we are going to address rooms later this year for Dungeon Fog because we have a roadmap for Dungeon Fog as well. We will look if we can make it happen within the same setup for this update, if we can bring it into our room update, or if it's going to be part of DEIOS eventually when we're going to rebuild our battle map features back into DEIOS.
Fantastic. Okay. Miriam asks, will these masterclasses, this boot camp, this workshop, will these be recorded? Absolutely, they will be, and they will be disseminated and broken up onto the various YouTube channels of all of those people who are working together. I don't think we actually ever mentioned the name of this group, Till. I don't know if we're allowed to say that or not, because we haven't really spoken about it with the other partners. Is it secret?
No, I think you can say it.
So, Dungeon Fog, World Anvil, and How to Be a Great GM, and we're all together, and we chat and we talk and we share ideas and we swap ideas, and Kara's part of it as well. And so we're calling ourselves the Circle of World Builders. The Circle of World Builders. Now that's what this masterclass is going to be called. Think acronym. Think acronym. Anyway, so these masterclasses will be recorded, and then the Circle of World Builders will release these videos all over the place, so don't you worry about that. So Cobalt says, do we need to sign up for this impromptu masterclass beforehand? Watch this space. We will reveal all a little bit later on. This really was just a teaser. Fallen Red N says, I missed the Kickstarter by about an hour because of work. Will the extra content packs be available for people who pre-order?
No, this like the extra content packs, apart the settings, will be there if you pre-order. They will be part of the marketplace. The asset packs, the Kickstarter exclusive asset packs, as the name says, will remain Kickstarter exclusive for quite some time after launch. Now, obviously, Kiora made all those beautiful things, and we want him to be, apart from the fact that we paid him to create those, but we want him to earn a living out of what he's doing. So they will eventually find a way into the marketplace. But we want to make sure that those people who backed us on Kickstarter have this exclusivity, so they will be the first who will be able to access them, and then later down the road they will find their way into the marketplace.
There we go. Fun Cracker says, during and after these masterclasses, is there some time for socializing and or questions and answers? Absolutely. We've designed the program to basically give you as much information as a short amount of time as possible, and then to get you involved. That's what this whole thing is about. You're not going to be sitting there just passively watching. You hopefully will be engaging and talking, and it's almost eight hours long. There's no breaks in between. It's right. We're busy doing this with World Anvil. Right, we're doing this with Dungeon Fog. And
I think the question is, will there be a hangout launch afterwards where we can all virtually raise our glasses and celebrate that this was a great day?
Oh, yes, you can all do that. I'll be going to bed. Yes, no, there definitely will be. There definitely will be. Dory First BG says, Dungeon Fog pre-order completed. You have one more tester for the Linux version. So
Thank you.
You should now have a Linux version, I hope.
So yeah, just in regards to that, Alpha 1 is going to be Windows only, but quite soon after that, and I think in one of the Discord chats, I said that it will take until Alpha 2, until we release Mac and Linux. And then Andy bashed me and said, no, that's not true because we're almost there. So within Alpha 1 and Alpha 2, we will then release, I think, Mac and Linux last as test builds, or as system versions.
There we go. There we go. Right. No more questions after this next batch, because otherwise we're going to be here all afternoon. So
I have time.
The next question is also from Dory Forsberg or BG. Have you ever thought of a generative random map maker such as roadside, mountainside, or castleside?
So part of the Kickstarter funding was that we are going to implement random seeding, which means you will have a random generator for your, well, we're starting with land masses, because populating them with mountains and forests, there's a lot of logic involved there. But having random land masses, random continent creation will be there, where you can adjust how many islands and how big the land masses should be. And you can copy those seeds and save them. So you could build up a seed library within the community. Same goes for random star systems like solar systems, and same goes for random battle maps. Again, all of that, we're starting very basic, and then we can improve on that.
There we go. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a slow month due to global shutdown? I think not. You guys have been working incredibly hard. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
I want to say thank you once more to the team, because they have been pushing real hard, to kind of compensate for the time we've lost throughout the past weeks, and B, to make this demo available today. And I know that everyone was rather stressed out before we had the review of the tool, and everyone was like, oh. So thank you, Andy, thank you, Jan, thank you, Bodhi, thank you, Jonas. You did a great job.
there we go. Absolutely. I think we all share in saying thank you to all of them for that. Okay, next month is the month we're all going to be watching social media for alerts and announcements to see how close we are to getting that alpha. I can't wait for that. I don't think anyone can, actually. I think we're all very, very, very excited. So, yes, no pressure whatsoever. Anyway, so thank you for taking your afternoon to spend updating us on what's going on in the world of Project DEIOS. And, yeah, thank you
all. Thank you all for joining. It was a pleasure, as always. And see you all soon on Discord, I hope.
There you go. Find us on Discord. Until next time, however, we wish you the very happiest of map making.